Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is a ground maintenance function that we'll be discussing. It's update the GPSs on the aircraft. This is something that we have to do in a 28-day cycle if you want to be able to fly IFR for the most part. It's not required for VFR, and under some very limited IFR circumstances, you don't have to do it. But by and large, this is something that everybody needs to do or really should do on a 28-day cycle. This updates all the approach plates that are loaded into your GPS, the frequencies, obstacles, things like that. It's a subscription-based process, so you need to make sure that you have a subscription for however many GPS units you have in your aircraft. I'll go over that with the computer, so a little screen record about creating it. In this case, we'll be discussing doing it with Garmin because we have dual Garmin 430s. One is WAS capable, one is a non-WAS capable Garmin unit. So we'll get into the plane, boot it up, and go through the process. It's pretty much the same for every Garmin unit that you're going to have. Just the cards are a little different, and we'll discuss that once we get into the plane.
So here we are on the Garmin website. This is where you're going to go to purchase your navigation database. For aviation, we'll come up here to the header Aviation. And then we're going to come down to Aviation Database Updates and click on that. That's going to bring us to the flygarmin.com if you've saved it. It's pretty easy. If this is your first time, you're going to come here, you're going to add your devices, and then you're going to pick what your database updates are. And then you're going to come down here to the bottom where it says Garmin Aviation Database Manager, and you're going to have to download a separate application, which we'll show in a little bit. For me, I'm going to come to Buy Databases. And we'll pick the plane that I've already loaded up. And I've already put in my two GPSs. I have legacy GNS 430s in the aircraft. We're going to pick the region, which is United States. And then it says recommendations, annual subscriptions. So this is if you only had one GPS unit that you were updating, subscriptions for an individual database. In my case, we're going to have packs and bundles because we have two. As you come down, you see the US database bundle, but it doesn't cover the 430 WAS as it goes down, or the 430. So I had talked to Garmin, and they have one packs, and this is what we have. It's the United States standard one pack, covers all the nav data, obstacle, and terrain for both. It's a little more than one, but they do give you a little reprieve on it.
All right, so here we are in the plane, getting ready to update the GPS units. This is something that you just need electrical power for the aircraft. You don't need to run the motor. You can do it on the battery, or if you have ground power hooked up, you can do it off of ground power for your aircraft. But today, we'll just be doing it off of battery power. All right, here's the two units. We have dual Garmin GNS 430s. The upper one is our primary. It's also a WAS unit, and the lower one is our non-WAS unit. I'm gonna add power to the aircraft and turn the avionics masters on and let the two units boot up here. As these boot up, you'll see that says 430W, and that's just a regular 430 down at the bottom. Once the two units boot up here in just a second. It's going to show us that the databases, as you can see, the database expired the 22nd of January on the non-WAS, and that the obstacle and aviation databases on the WAS unit are also in yellow, that they have expired. So this is going to show up each time. They'll show in yellow if they're expired, and then you can click through it. So if we were doing a VFR flight and we weren't that concerned, you can go. It is not required for VFR flight, although it is generally recommended as something that's good, because you're going to have your frequencies and any changes on there. So what we'll do is we'll power off the plane real quick so we can remove the data cards from the unit safely and do the update. And here's the power coming off. All right, so now that power's off of the aircraft, it'll be safe to remove the data cards out of the two units. This is a consistent process, regardless of the type of unit, you should have the power out. On the 430s, these are older, tried and true, and the data cards are here. You have two. You have one here. This is the nav database, and then this is empty, or just a filler plate on the 430, but on the 430 WAS, you have the nav here, and then you have the terrain obstacle here. If you happen to have a more modern, like 650 or 750, those will do an SD card. It'll just be a single card that'll have all of that data in there. Or you can even hook up a wireless where you don't even have to pull this. But in our case, we're going to pull these out here. So you flip it up. It gives you a little tag, and you pull these out, and the card looks like this, little green card, and you can see there. It's a whole bunch of pins. These are a little dated, but one of the problems is they require a special card reader you got to get from Garmin to be able to hook into your computer. All right, so here's that special card reader that we have in order to get these data cards updated. These cards, I don't know of any computer that has a card reader that's built in, so I had to buy this from Garmin. I think it was around $75, and they shipped it to the house. Comes standard with to a USB-A port, but most computers now don't have USB-A, so get an adapter to the adapter to a USB-C port so that it'll work on the plane. And then all you got to do is take this card and you slide it into the reader like such, and there it is. And so once we get the database up and running, it'll update the card, we'll pull it out, and then put it back into the GPS unit. All right, so here we are on our Garmin Aviation Database Manager. We're going to come through and we're going to update, reinstall. We're going to do this on the 430 and the 430 Whiskey. We're going to continue there. And we're going to start with the navigation data. We're going to continue to step 2. We're also going to do the navigation data. Here it comes through. It says to insert. So we're doing the 430 first. Insert the legacy navigation data card, which we already have in. We're going to say OK. It's going to download. And here it is, updating the card. So while this is running, we'll go through and talk about kind of why I'm doing this at the plane. Obviously, you need a computer. So there's a couple different processes that you can go about for doing this type of work. You can either A, go to the aircraft
get the cards, drive back to your house or wherever it is that you have your computer, do the update, drive back to the plane, plug it in. That works great. Another option, you can have 2 sets of cards. You can just have one set at the house and you can cycle through the different cards as you go through. It's pretty nice if you have extra set of cards. Definitely fairly convenient, but not everybody has access to them, especially these older cards, and they're a little expensive. Most people, it seems, have laptops and hotspots with their phones. So as we go through, we'll take, and this is my preferred method, is I hook my phone up to my computer, use it as a hotspot so we can do the download option and do the install right here in the plane. And then I can check, plug all the data cards in, make sure the upload was great, that none of the data was corrupted. And if it is, it's easy to go back and reload right here as opposed to having to drive back and forth. And there's the first one done. And I am going to repeat the process for the next data card. So all I got to do is pull out the card, put the next card in. Here it is. Say OK. It's already downloaded the database, and it's just going through the update process. Alright, so we got both navigation databases updated, and now we need to update the obstacle database for the 430 WAS. The 430 I have does not have the capabilities of displaying obstacles, so only need to update this on the 430 WAS. As you can see, the Database Manager knows that the navigation data has been updated recently, so we'll select obstacles and continue. It's getting the information. It recognizes the terrain data card. Quick download, and then goes through the installation process. This went super quick, which is really nice. Hit done, and everything's good to go. Now, you'll see this red that there is databases expired will come through, and it's saying that there's an issue with the 430, and that is for the terrain. The obstacles, but the unit can't read it. It's because of the package that I bought for both. It is trying to give you obstacles for both units, even though this unit can't display it, so there's no need to update it. Alright, so we put the cards back in their appropriate slots, and we're going to power up the plane and make sure that the databases were taken appropriately and load up just fine. I always find it interesting, the older 430 unit boots a little bit faster than the 430 WAS unit. Alright, and here it is, 19 February 2026, in white. That is good. And then you can say OK. And off it goes. And then this one, you see the obstacle and aviation databases. 19 February 2026, great. And then the obstacles, which is on a 56-day cycle, is 19 March 2026. And there it is. So those are all done. And with that all done, it's time to go fly. Be sure to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.